What did they
What about
do?
your mother and father?
Huh?
What about your mother and father?
What did they
Oh,
do?
my mother and father both came from Norway, and
What was his occupation?
we settled in North Dakota. Mhm.
What was his profession?
What did he do?
What did he do for?
Oh, well, he was a farmer back there. When he came out here, he worked on the ships as the ship's carpenter with Jack Anderson. And so that was our. Mhm.
And how about your mother and father? What did they do?
My dad worked in the Fort Campbell sawmill and then later in the shipyard in Bremerton. And my mother was, she was born out there, about the same place I was, on the homestead. She was a homemaker, and later on she was a telephone operator in Kingston here.
Tell a little about your grandparents.
Well, my grandparents, my granddad came out in here in 1888, and then homesteaded the place up there in 1889 when he was 21 years old. So, and my grandmother came out in 1900, and then met my granddad there. And in fact, it was going to the church in Kingston there where they met, and then they had 3 boys and 1 girl, which was my mother.
Okay. Can you tell us about brothers and sisters?
My brothers and sisters,
Yeah, did you have any?
I had 2 sisters. I got 2 sisters and 1 brother. My brother lives up the Highland Road, and sister lives over by Port Yellow Road, and then the other sister, she lives in Swin.
Okay.
I had 6 brothers and 4 sisters in our family.
Can you tell about them? Like what?
I couldn't hear him.
You could tell a little bit about them.
Well, I don't know where to start. We were farmers back there in North Dakota when we came out here. And my brothers we all went up to Nome, Alaska. And they worked up there and for the Hammond Company, which did gold mining and up there. And they're all of them are gone now. And
Did they stay in Alaska or did they come back here? Did
No.
they stay in
Well,
Alaska?
3 of them died up there in Alaska, and then the rest of them were down here. Yeah.
You said you came out with Anderson?
The Jack Andersons out there in South Kingston, they had the place by President Point there. And Jack was my cousin Jack's dad, but it was Dad's nephew. That's how come that we came out here.
Did they work for Loman? Do you know? Did they work for the Loman Company?
Yes, up in Nome. Yeah.
How about your brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child, and it was pretty darn lonesome up there on the farm.
Did you have any brothers and
I had 1
sisters?
sister. She was lived in Suquamish, but is now deceased. Jen. Yeah.
Did she have a profession?
Well, she was an accountant for a couple of seafood companies, and then when she married a fellow, and she was the accountant for Paulsbo Electric, and eventually she and her husband owned Paulsbo Electric.
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
I had a brother and a sister.
Okay.
One brother was the oldest, he died at 11, typhoid fever down in Kingston. And my sister she lives in West Seattle, to see her.
What were their professions? What did they do?
Well, my brother was just a student, but my sister, she's just a homemaker.
And why don't you tell about how school was different when you went to school than it is today? Because there were lots of differences.
You can just follow the language picture.
So there were lots of differences with school than there are today. So you can just ask about some of the differences of school.
What was your, did you use pencils a lot, or what was your main thing that you used to write?
That's right.
Pencils.
I don't think they're that old.
No, not quite that old.
Didn't
You need
use
to ask,
slates.
there's some things you need to ask, like how was the schoolroom heated? And what did you do in the winter time? And, what activities did you do outside when you had playground time? And did you have to bring your lunch from home? Those kinds of things.
Oh.
And were you in a classroom with everybody in the same grade or in different grades?
How many schools did you go to? And
I believe at the time, Jack can correct me, and maybe, Kingston was one of the biggest grade schools in the north end of the county. And there was two grades to a room, so we had 4 rooms. And they were all heated by a big, huge wood stove.
In each room.
Yeah, in each
Yeah.
room. And the playground at Kingston, as you see it now, didn't exist. It was just long.
It was along, you
Yeah.
know where the VFW hall is in the Kingston. Well, from there over to where the tennis court or the basketball court is now, that was the field. It ran east and west, and then back in, what was it, 36 or 37,
Yeah.
they went then and scooped out all of that up toward the fire station and moved. That's why you have a 2-tiered playground at the school now. But that was all done by the WPA, moved all that dirt and took out all that, and we then had a baseball field. Well, up until that time, we didn't have enough room for a baseball field on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, because that was all woods.
You know, I think many people forget that the ball field down, this was called the ball field, as you go down along the water, about halfway before you turn.
Right
There's a
now,
big
to the
field.
end of Lindvall Road.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, now, there's a road that runs down, and it's where Lindvall and First West, or West Kingston Road comes together. There was that area just toward the bay from there was where the Kingston baseball team
Yeah.
played, and that's where the only circus that ever came to Kingston was there.
And there was an